City has a chance to clinch at least a share of its third consecutive Highlands District Championship. They can do so by defeating the Abingdon Falcons, but the Falcons come in with the top two scorers in the Highlands District. Joe Waters leading the way for the Falcons as he averages 19.2 and West Basham at 18.5. These two teams met earlier this season. Gate City won by 19 on the road in Abingdon. However, West Basham did not play in that game for Abingdon. He had to sit out because of some technicals he had incurred in a prior game, was not allowed to play. So the Falcons come back in with all their guns blazing now as they'll try to knock the Blue Devils from the unbeaten ranks in the Highlands District. In fact, Gate City at this point has the only record above 500 in the Highlands District play. And we're having the starting lineups being introduced now by Gate City. Public address announcer is Brent Roberts. Official scorekeeper here is Rick Shoemaker. Let's go to the starting lineup for the Abingdon Falcons, who come into this game with an overall record of 5-8. They are 1-2 in the Highlands. They've lost 4 in a row. In the backcourt, number 10, Josh Whitlock, one of the starters. Also drawing a start, J.B. Wallace. Wallace is a junior guard, Whitlock a senior. Joe Waters, the leading scorer in the Highlands, also the best three-point shooter, a 6'3" senior guard. West Basham, 42, did not play last time. 6'6" post. He is a senior. And rounding out the starting lineup, he is Jimmy Mitchell. Mitchell, a 6'3" senior post. So now let's go to the Gate City Blue Devils. 8-7 in the year, but they are 5-0 in the Highlands District, and will try to clinch at least a tie for the district title. A big step toward hosting the Highlands tournament. Richard Howell, a junior guard for Gate City, has played very well in assuming the point guard role. Aaron Mead, a senior, had a marvelous game against Lee in a huge contest for Gate City about a week ago. Also, Chad Beasley, a junior, he had a career high against Abingdon the last time these two teams met. Josh Shoemaker, he is the team's leading scorer, 5th in the Highlands. And then also, rounding out the starting five, Jason Haynes, a senior, all-regional player a year ago, 8th in the district in scoring, and the leading rebounder for Gate City. They play 8-minute quarters here on the varsity, and also at halftime this evening, they'll be recognizing some of the advertisers and sponsors from around the community who, if you have been in the Devil's Den this season, you'll notice that on the side of the gym, right above the scorers table, there are new beautiful blue banners hanging down with names of various advertisers from around the community. Those advertisers will be recognized at halftime this evening. So Gate City, having not lost a Highlands District game since 1993. It has been that long since the Blue Devils have dropped to a Highlands team. West Basham will jump it up against Josh Shoemaker. The toss is up. Shoemaker taps it into rear court. Can Gate City save it? Jason Haynes with good hands does. He gets it back to Shoemaker, and we're underway here at the Devil's Den. Gate City 5-0 in the Highlands. Here's Aaron Mead for three to start the game. It is no good. Rebound tapped into the hands of Joe Waters, and Waters brings the Falcons under Mark Quesenberry off and running into the forecourt. Abingdon 12-10 a year ago. Pass on the wing. Around the horn they work it. J.B. Wallace gets it off to Jimmy Mitchell. Now between the circles, this is Whitlock. Across the way, Joe Waters with the basketball. Waters had a big game in Abingdon against Gate City. Wallace with the basketball, works around the horn, looking for help, picks it up on the perimeter, gets it off. This is Whitlock. Whitlock driving. Whitlock on the baseline, hanging left-hander, no good. And Chad Beasley strong with the board for Gate City. Blue Devils trailed after the first quarter to the Falcons in Abingdon, but then mounted a strong second quarter and put the game away. Beasley with the basketball. Shoemaker in the right corner against the 2-3 zone. Waters is on him. Pass on the perimeter, right side, Howe. Now between the circles, Mead. Left wing, Beasley looks inside to try to find Haynes. Instead, cross-court pass. Howe fakes a three to Mead on the baseline. Aaron running right-hander, no good. Rebound tapped out high. Howe with the basketball, puts it high off the glass, no good. Long rebound again, and this time Chad Beasley for Gate City. Beasley, Shoemaker between the circles. Howe on the wing. Richard fakes a three to Haynes. Triple team. Out high. Shoemaker fakes. He'll fire the line drive three. It's no good. High rebound West Basham. Then loses the handle and Basham collects it. Then he traveled in rear court. And Mark Quesenberry immediately off the bench didn't agree with the call. Basham again did not play in the first game between these two teams in Abingdon. Waters averaging 14 points a year ago. Basham 12. Shoemaker at 8 a year ago. Haynes, the leading returning scorer for Gate City at 12.5. Shoemaker takes the pass on the right wing, starts to go inside, double team, top of the circle, needs help, feeds it on the wing. Howe down low to Beasley, beat Basham, turnaround, hook shot is good. And Gate City leads at 2-0. Chad Beasley with a nice move. He regained his balance on the inside after Basham had tried to intercept the pass, and the Devils have the first bucket of the game. Between the circles, driving left side, Whitlock backs it outside, flips it over on the wing. This is Waters with the basketball. They feed it out to the high post. Basham puts it on the floor. Gets Beasley in the air. Pull-up jumper is no good, but with a nice move, Wes Basham draws the foul from Chad Beasley. It is the first of the game, and Basham steps to the line for Abingdon. Again, number 2 in scoring in the Highlands District. Basham, 18.5 on the year. He's missed 2 games. Actually missed 1 game for the Falcons. That was the Gate City game. Here's the toss by Basham. It is off the back of the iron. No good. The Falcons lost their leading scorer, Tyrone Johnson, and their leading rebounder, Mike Price, to graduation a year ago. Basham and Waters trying to respectively fill those roles as Basham hits the second of 2. It's 2-1. Gate City early on leading. We've got about a minute gone by so far. Shoemaker top of the horn around the perimeter. They work it. Howe feeds it into the key. Haynes off to Meade. Aaron fakes a 3 on the wing. Instead goes into the right corner. Shoemaker lobs it down low. Beasley pinned on the baseline. Kicks it back out to Shoemaker as the Falcons collapsing down low. Miscommunication as Josh Shoemaker thought Jason Haynes was going to turn to the baseline. Instead, Jason spun around back into the key, and that turnover gives it back to the Falcons. It is 2-1. Gate City leading Abingdon on the strength of a bucket by Chad Beasley early in the game. With the basketball, Wallace bounce pass top of the circle. Josh Whitlock as Gate City plays man-to-man. Waters with Shoemaker on him. Drive to the baseline. Lost the handle. Shoemaker and Waters battle for it. Ball is scrapped for on the floor. Whistle by the official across the way. Jump ball called. And on the alternating possession arrow, it points to the Falcons. Greg Irvin in his second year for Gate City, 21-3 a year ago. His team 8-7 this year. But many of those losses to AAA teams out of Tennessee, including most recently a 9-point loss to the number 8 team in Tennessee, Elizabethton. Whitlock with the basketball. He is a 3-year starter for Abingdon. Hal comes out to play high on him. On the wing, this is Wallace. Gets it back over to Whitlock. Whitlock looking to penetrate. Nowhere to go. Changes hands on the dribble. Wes Basham out high. Chad Beasley plays him. Basham picks up his dribble. Tries to skip it through the key off the hands of, looked like Mitchell, to Waters in the corner. Now Whitlock on the perimeter. 4:51 to go, as it has been a very methodical offense for Abingdon. There's going to be a travel called on Whitlock as he lost his balance trying to pull up on the run. 4:47 to go in the first quarter. It is 2-1. Gate City with the lead and with the basketball. Howe in rear court against token pressure supplied by the Falcons. Meade into the front court, needs help, gets it off to Howe. And Howe will reset the offense as the Falcons look to play maybe a 2-1-2 zone, with the 1 in the middle being Basham guarding it down low against Haynes. In the left corner, Shoemaker works it back out to Beasley, top of the circle. Beasley fakes inside. Howe now with the basketball near the midcourt ring. Aaron Meade thought about the 3 from about 22 feet out. Instead, flips it over in the corner. Beasley with Waters on him. Tried to lob it out high. Picked off by Whitlock. Whitlock with the numbers 1-on-2. Whitlock drives to the basket. Shot is rejected by Shoemaker as Richard Howe has stepped in looking for the charge. None forthcoming, but Josh Shoemaker skies high and sends the basketball into the student section of the bleachers here at Gate City. Jake Housewright will check in momentarily. Wes Basham off the inbounds. Driving jumper, no good. He bumps on the rebound. No foul called, and Basham's stick back is good. And he has all 3 Falcon points. It is 3-2. 3:58 to go in the first. Shoemaker driving the sideline into the forecourt. Shoemaker on the perimeter right side. Over into the corner. Hal driving on the baseline. Richard pull-up jumper. Trickles off the weak side. Rebound, Jason Haynes. And Jason Strong up with the basket and puts Gate City ahead 4-3. Into the forward court with the basketball, Joe Waters. Waters averaging just over 19. Back between the circles, Whitlock bounces it on the right wing. Wallace feeds it inside. Mitchell, turnaround over Haynes. Jason blocked it, saved it on the baseline, and feeds Richard Howe. 2 blocks early on for Gate City. 3:25 to go in the first. Pass into the front court. Meade on the near sideline, left wing. This is Howe. Feeds it backdoor alley-oop. Tried to get it to Shoemaker. Knocked away alertly by Joe Waters. And Wes Basham picked it up, then threw it away into the crowd across the way as the Falcons tried to run the break. Substitution brings several players off the bench. Jake Housewright, Matt Osborne, and Chris Peters all enter the game for Gate City. And into the game for the Abingdon Falcons, Zach Thompson, and also, let's see, it'll be 24, I believe, Chad Blackson into the game. So Shoemaker, Osborne, Peters, the freshman, Beasley, and Housewright into the game for Gate City. Now this is Chris Peters. He had 4 3-pointers, a season high and career high 12 points against the Falcons last time in Abingdon. On the wing, far side, Shoemaker puts it on the floor. Cross-court pass to Peters. He fakes the three in the left corner. Quick whip pass to Housewright. Jake leans in the key, and he scores from just inside the free throw line. Jake has 6 in the game. It is a 6-3 advantage for Gate City. 2:46 to go in the first. The other way, Blackson feeds it down low. Basham spins against Beasley. Shot may have been tipped by Shoemaker, and Josh has it into the front court for Gate City. 3-point lead for the Blue Devils. And Josh Shoemaker, top scorer for the Gate City Blue Devils, feeds it off to Chris Peters. Beasley at a high post. They feed it on the wing, Matt Osborne. Matt has 7 trays in the year for Gate City. Blackson all over him. Feeds it to Peters. Peters hanging pass down into the key. House right off the glass, so Jake's got a quick 2. 4 points, 2 buckets in the game for Housewright. The lead is 5, 8-3, 2:13 to go. Whitlock underhanded pass to Basham on the baseline, and there's going to be a foul before that called on Gate City. And the foul is going to go against 15, Matt Osborne. So Osborne, the sophomore, has his first. It is number 2 on Gate City as a team. It comes with 2:10 to go in the first. And from the baseline, Waters set the trigger in, lobs it out high to Basham. Basham picked up by 2 defenders to the top of the circle. Whitlock for 3. It rolls off the front of the iron, tapped away by Thompson, but into the hands of Osborne. As we hit the 2-minute mark to go in the first quarter, it is 8-3. On the left wing, Peters fakes a 3. Cross-court pass in the hands of Shoemaker. Josh drives off the top of the glass. It's good, as he just got a crack of an inch on the inside of Waters and took advantage of it and drove by him. Driving the other way, there's going to be a pushing foul called as Joe Waters with a nice move went to the baseline, but somebody for Gate City making some body contact there, and they're going to call the foul, I think, on Josh Shoemaker, 32 of Gate City. The score is Gate City 10 and Abingdon 3. Actually, the foul is going to be called on Chad Beasley. Beasley has 2 now, and he is out of the game. In there for Gate City, returning Jason Haynes. High off the glass, runner no good by Whitlock. Rebound hauled down by Gate City. As we approach the buck-and-a-half mark to play in the first quarter, it is 10-3. The Blue Devils trying to pick up win number 9 in the year. Shoemaker dribbling the basketball between the circles. Passes on the right wing, as this is Osborne, picked up on the perimeter by Whitlock. Peters now feeds it to Shoemaker. Triple teams as he goes into the key. Knocked away by Thompson. And as Thompson turned to pass it, he lost it out of bounds. It goes to Gate City. And Jason Horton checks into the game. The 7'1" junior for the Blue Devils. Replaces Jake Housewright. Also substitution as Mark Quesenberry dips into the bench for the Falcons. He brings 44. Angus Pokilla, a 5'10" junior guard in. He will replace Chad Blackson. Shoemaker inbounds Osborne for 3 in the right corner. Trickles off. Weak side rebound Shoemaker. Eye off the glass. Shot no good. Rebound. Who's got it? Tapped into the hands of Shoemaker. Josh's shot no good, but he is bumped on the baseline, and he'll have a couple of offerings coming as the foul is going to be whistled on Angus Pokilla, his first, and it is team foul 1 on the Falcons as well. And for the first time in the game, it'll be Gate City to the free throw line as Josh Shoemaker will take the honors for Gate City. The Blue Devils struggling here in the season, 48.9% from the line. Josh with the first toss is good. Josh came into the game 44.6% on the year, 37 of 83. He's got 3 in the game, looking to make the lead up to 9. As the 6'7" junior, the toss is up and good. Josh with 4 in the game. The lead is 12-3 in favor of Gate City, and the Falcons into the forecourt on the left sideline. Joe Waters bounces it, and coming around the arc on the left wing, Pokilla, he'll feed it back to Waters. Waters takes a 3, drives in for a 19-foot 2, and it rains down. A high-arching jumper for Joe Waters, his first bucket of the game, and the Falcons cut it to a 7-point lead. Under a minute to go, 46 seconds on a turning clock in quarter 1. Haynes, the outlet man, now back to Shoemaker. Shoemaker around the horn, left wing. Osborne looks inside. Peters, he's open for 3. Left corner, it's good. Chris Peters continues the torrid pace. He began against the Falcons in that game up at Abingdon when he had 4 trays. Chris with his first of the game. And as Abingdon with the basketball the other way, Chris now in the season with 12. 21 seconds to go. Angus Pokilla bounces to Joe Waters, fakes off Peters, driving over Horton, hanging jumper, good. Joe Waters with a pair of rainbows, the lead back down to 8. Shoemaker in rear court with 9 seconds to go, stumbling his way into forecourt, knocked away by Pokilla. 3-on-2, Basham runs the break, 4 seconds, Basham flips it off. This is Waters with a second to go, it's good. Joe Waters is true as he hits the shot on the last 3 Abingdon possessions down the floor. A quarter is in the books here at the Devil's Den with Gate City leading Abingdon 15-9. And with a break in the action, let's recognize our sponsors for Big Blue Basketball here on STE, Cablevision Channel 30. Our sponsors include Williams Heating and Air, Darty Brothers Chevrolet, Magnolia Place, State Line Graphics, and Photogenius Photography and Video Production. We'll return in a moment with Gate City leading by 6. Josh Shoemaker and Jake Housewright leading the way for the Gate City Blue Devils in the first quarter, each with 4 points. 3 points for Chris Peters, 2 points each for Chad Beasley and Jason Haynes. It is Blue Devil basketball to start quarter 2. The lead is 6. Joe Waters with 3 baskets in the first quarter. Not a good sign for Gate City to see him get heated up. The Devils go down low. Beasley turned to the basket, lost the handle. Here's Meade for 3. Top of the circle, and Aaron is true with the 3. Aaron Meade with 3-pointer for him on the season, number 10. Actually, that'll be number 7 for Aaron on the year. And it pushes the Gate City lead back to 9. In the front court, Whitlock with the basketball. On the wing, Mitchell now gets it back to Whitlock, driving in, nowhere to go, so Josh will have to work it out. Now on the wing, this is Zach Thompson with the basketball. Thompson, as Gate City plays a man-to-man, is defended by Haynes. Skips it out to the top of the circle. Aaron Meade hit the deck, no foul called. Waters drive, running right-hander off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound tapped out by, they'll say, Gate City. Basham and Meade were there. They'll say Aaron, the senior, may have touched it last. 18-9 is the lead for Gate City. 7:13 to go in the second. Basham takes the inbounds, feeds it back to Waters on the baseline. He spins around, hook shot under the basket, drew the underside of the iron. Rebound to Gate City. Hal runs the break into the forecourt. He's picked up by Whitlock. Back on the perimeter right side. Shoemaker feeds Meade on the left perimeter. Now Hal, down low they go to Haynes. Jason turns, back to Beasley, fake the 3, back to Hal. Down low to Haynes. Jason turns the position on Basham. Hook shot is good. Haynes got position from 6 feet in, and it's tough to stop that 6'9" wide body from turning around in there. And Haynes has 4 in the game, averaging about 11.5 on the year. 20-9, Gate City leads. Hal guarding Whitlock. Whitlock with a screen, drives all the way, and the running right-hander kisses it off the glass and drops it in. Whitlock with his first basket of the game. It is 20-11. That lead is back to 9. Pass on the near wing comes to Aaron Meade. And the senior waits the arrival of the rest of his teammates. Goes back to Richard Howell across the way. This is Shoemaker. Quick down low to Meade. Meade shovel pass inside. Jason Haynes turns off the glass. No good. And there's going to be an over-the-back call of Jason Haynes. And Greg Irvin couldn't believe it. He was off the bench and in a hurry. Jason, that'll be his first. Chad Beasley has 2. He is playing in there now, as Gate City going with one of its tallest lineups. Jake Housewright will check in for Gate City. Zach Thompson is out for Abingdon, as returning to the lineup is 54, Jimmy Mitchell. Haynes leaves with the foul, as Greg Irvin is still talking to the officials about that last call of Haynes. 6:09 to go in the second quarter. It is a 9-point lead for Gate City. Whitlock double teamed as Gate City shifts back to his zone. Here is Wes Basham with a fadeaway from the top of the circle. Good. As Basham now has 5 in the game. The lead is down to 7. Shoemaker flips it on the wing. This is Hal, right side, near the sideline. Looks inside against the 2-3 zone. Aaron Meade takes the pass between the circles. Back over on the right wing, Hal. Down low to Shoemaker. Beat Basham. Off the glass shot, no good. Shoemaker with the rebound. Sticks it up. It drops in. And there's a foul called against the Falcons. It's going to be called on 24, I believe. Looked like it may have been there. Chad Blackson with the foul. It is on Blackson, his first. On the Falcons, it is number 2. 5:40 to go in the first half. It is 22-13, and Josh Shoemaker stepping to the stripe. He's 2 for 2, trying to put Gate City ahead by double digits for the first time in the game. The toss is up, no good. Long rebound into the hands of Shoemaker, though. Off on the wing, Housewright. This is Hal. Cross court, he goes to Aaron Meade. Aaron looks inside as he has Chad Blackson playing on him. Cross court pass, Hal for 3. Left wing, and it's good for Richard Howell. Gate City has gone outside now. 3 3-pointers in the game. Richard Howell in the season. That is number 3 for him. 25-13. Driving in Whitlock, and there's going to be contact called before the pass by Whitlock. On Gate City, it'll be team foul number 5. On the Blue Devils, it is whistle on Richard Howell. That is his first. 5:15 to go in the first half. Inbound, Waters gets to the Basham on the right wing. Top of the circle, Whitlock. Down low in the key, Waters fakes one-way turn, hook shot the other way, no good. Rebound, Josh Shoemaker. And the Devils with a comfortable 12-point lead walked it up the floor at the 5-minute mark to go in the second period. Shoemaker from the right side to the near side. Howell takes the pass. Meade in the corner, faking around, needing help, drives out of there against number 54, Mitchell. Beasley to Shoemaker. Shoemaker on the left wing as the Falcons collapse down low. Now they pull their zone out just a little bit. Haynes will check into the next horn. Across the way, pass to Howell on the sideline. He feeds it to Beasley as Gate City is playing a very methodical game on offense. Down low into the key. Housewright turns to the basket. Shot is up and good. Basham may have partially tipped it from behind, but it went in anyway. Jake Housewright with 6 quick points in the game. 27-13 in favor of Gate City. The Blue Devils are their largest advantage of the game. Whitlock comes into the forecourt. Pass on the baseline. Basham by Beasley. Skips the pass left side. Shot is up. No good by Blackson. And Meade hauls the rebound down for Gate City. Devils lead by 14. A stark contrast to the game earlier this season when Abingdon really put up a tussle in the first half against Gate City. Meade spinning around, needs help between the circles. Off on the left perimeter. Howell now to Beasley. Now back to the circles they go. Down low into the key. Shoemaker turnaround for Josh. High off the glass, no good. Weak side rebound. Beasley is up and good. Chad goes strong to the boards. 4 for him. 29-13, and Greg Irvin looking for a foul there, still talking to the officials down the floor. 3:42 to go in the first half. Whitlock across the way. Left wing backs it out. Waters for 3. Best three-point shooter, and that's why. Quick spot up for Joe Waters as he drains the tray. He now has 9 in the game for Waters, by the way, on the season. That is three-pointer number 20, averaging 1.6 per game. Meade in the front court as we're under 3.5 to go. Howell to Housewright. Jake backs into the key, whips it out to Meade. Howell now from the right sideline. Shoemaker goes down low to Beasley. The pass is tipped, and I think they're going to say it was last touched by Beasley. Well, let's see. No, the official is going, well, still some discussion. And it is Gate City basketball. One official, actually 2 officials had said it was Gate City basketball. And finally, the third concurs. It is 29-16 in favor of Gate City. And did they beat the 5 count? They did not. And the Gate City fans whistling the cat calls because of a very quick 5-second count. 29-16, 13-point Bulls as we hit the 3-minute mark. Whitlock into the front court off the screen by Basham, then gives it back to Basham. Here's a 3 by Basham, top of the circle, no good. Rebound taken away from Peters, but there's an over-the-back foul called on J.B. Wallace of Abingdon. Wallace has his first. It is the 3rd on the Falcons as a team. It comes with an even 3 to play in the first half, 29-16 in favor of Gate City. Matt Osborne has come back to the game, as has Chris Peters. Osborne handling the ball back to Peters. He'll take another 3. Left side, it's good. Chris is 2 for 2. He now has 13 trays in the year. He continues to be one of the hottest players in the Highlands. For 3, it's no good, but Whitlock is fouled by Osborne, and Josh Whitlock will have 3 free throws upcoming for Abingdon. And Greg Irvin talking to the official as he's still upset about a couple of no calls the other way. Osborne has I think his first. It is number 6 on Gate City. It is number 2 on Osborne. 2:43 to go in the first half, and Josh Whitlock to the line for Abingdon. 3-year starter, 5'11" senior guard is Whitlock. He is 4th in the team in scoring at 5.8 per game. At the 2:43 mark to play in the first half, he drains the first of 3. He's got 3 points in the game, and the lead is down to 32-17. Gate City had pushed it to a 16-point advantage at 1 point of the game. Here's the second by Whitlock. It is good. Talking about the play of Chris Peters, by the way, as Whitlock will have the 3rd of 3. Peters in three-point shooting in the Highlands District is now 5th. 0.8 per game, as Whitlock got all 3 of them. The lead is down to 32-19. Shoemaker runs the baseline, passes into Peters, cross-court to Osborne. They beat the pressure. Housewright bounces to Haynes. Haynes strong against Basham. The shot is good, and there's a foul called against the senior center of Abingdon, West Basham. Nice run on the break as Jake Housewright fed it right of the key to Jason Haynes. And Jason, using his body to screen out, takes it strong to the glass and scores. Jason's got 6 in the game, looking for number 7. Jason on the year from the line is 50%, 15 of 30. The toss is up by the 6'9" senior. It is good. Haynes with 7 in the game. 2:33 to go in the first half. It is all Gate City, 35-19. Whitlock trying to drive by Osborne, can't get by him. as the sophomore blocked it off nicely. Waters drives by a couple of defenders. Hanging jumper, no good. But Joe Waters switching to the left hand with a nice move, draws contact, and he'll step to the line to shoot two. They may call the foul, and they do, on Josh Shoemaker. On Josh, that'll be his first. It is number 7 on Gate City as a team. Comes with 2:20 to go in the first half. 16-point bulge, and Waters to the line with a toss is good. Waters with 10 in the first half. Against John Battle back on December 5th, Waters had 23 points in the first 2 quarters. He got them both there. 11 for Waters. Devils down, his lead is down to 14. Peters between the rings gives it off to Shoemaker as we're just about to the 2-minute mark to go in the second quarter. Shoemaker works it slowly around the horn. Now back to Peters. Shoemaker top of the circle. Osborne on the left wing as they're collapsing down low. Gate City trying to sneak somebody back door down there. Get it to Housewright. Jake steps into the key. Nowhere to go. And they're going to call him for a travel. It looked like from here he was able to keep his pivot foot. But the official across the way disagrees and says it is a turnover with $1:57 to go in the first half. (35-21). This is Whitlock all the way to the basket. Running right-hander. No. Rebound tapped out, and we're going to have a foul called against Gate City. Battling in there for Abingdon was Zach Thompson, but they'll say somebody got a piece of his arm, and they're going to say that somebody was Matt Osborne. Osborne has his third, and that quickly brings Richard Howell back into the game. Chad Beasley also returns for Gate City as he'll relieve Jake Housewright. 1:45 to go in quarter 2. It is 35-21. Substitution brings J.B. Wallace to the bench for Abingdon. Is also returning to the lineup is Chad Blackson. Should be a 1+1, and it is. 7th team foul in Gate City. And to the line for Abingdon is number 50, and that is Zach Thompson. Thompson, a 6'3" junior post. On the year, he's played in 8 games, averaging 1.3 points per game. Makes the first one good. Cuts the lead to 13, looking to make it 12. Tosses up, it rattles around, drops off to Chad Beasley. And the Devils clinging to a 13-point lead as we approach the 1.5 mark to go in the first half. Shoemaker takes the pass from Howell and gives it back to Richard on the right wing. Shoemaker cuts inside. They don't go to him. Instead, between the circles, this is Peters back over to Howell as Gate City's trying to extend this 2-3 zone. This is the 3, top of the circle by Peters, no good, but Howell tracks down the rebound in the left corner. Off to Peters on the perimeter left side. He'll step it up now, putting it on the floor. Dribbles around the horn, kicks it off to Shoemaker. Over to Howell, down low to Haynes. Jason turns by Basham and lays it up and in. Jason Haynes is doing an outstanding job of blocking out Wes Basham when he turns to the basket. As Jason now with 7 in the quarter, 9 in the game. The lead is up 37-22. Here's Whitlock for 3. Left side, weak side rebound. Beasley collects it, and the Devils turn and bring it the other way. 53 seconds and a turning clock to play in the first half. It is 37-22. And here is Shoemaker to the front court for Gate City. Josh pass on the wing. Peters for 3. It's up off the back of the iron as he misses his first outside shot of the night. Tracked down, though, by Howell. Feeds it off to Beasley. Basham knocked it away, but Shoemaker has it for Gate City. 35 seconds to go. Meade will check back in at the next horn as Shoemaker brings it in now. Beasley on the left perimeter. Actually on the right side. Looks inside. Nowhere to go. Now Meade. Actually Howell. Peters down low to Haynes. He feeds it off to Shoemaker, now on the horn, as they work it to Howell. 19 seconds to go in the first half. Peters top of the circle as Chris kicks it over on the far side. Josh Shoemaker as Gate City weaves the offense with 11 seconds. Shoemaker off to Howell with 9. Howell looking with 7. He finds Peters with 6. Chris drives with 5. Spins around, needs help. Shoemaker steps up from 21 with 2. In and out. Beasley taps it up, no good. And that's the end of the first half. But Gate City explodes in the second quarter. And the Blue Devils will take a 37-22 lead into the locker room at halftime. We'll pause here as well, as this is Big Blue Basketball here on STE Cablevision Channel 30.
On behalf of sponsor, and all the funds, all the proceeds go to sponsor athletic programs in Gate City High School. And at this time, we'd like for the individuals that are representing these businesses, please step forward and receive their plaque from Mr. Jim Bishop, who is the principal of the Gate City Middle School High School Complex. from Darcy Brothers Chevrolet, represented by Mr. Ray Gardner. Please stay on the floor when you get there, please. Gate City Phillips, 66, represented by Mr. Charles Gardner. James Recreation Center, represented by Mr. Jake Gilman. King Ford Sales, represented by Mr. Elliott Smith. Nations Bank, represented by Mr. Jim Anderson. Further teams and Mr. Consultants, represented by Mr. Bobby Long. Scott Telecom Electronic, represented by Mr. P.J. Gonzalez. State Line Graphics, represented by Mr. Mark Peters. Mark's up top on the radio show, WGAT, so have a hard time getting away. We've got one more. We were trying to check the patron's office that were coming in the door, one on show by us. We have the plaque that Mr. Ralph Quisberry to get in his room right now. Big break in sign, represented by Mrs. Norman Barber. This is a very small token of our appreciation for our support with all the people in the community who give to Gates High School, especially these businesses that have funded us in a lot of programs we have, and we really, really appreciate it. We'd like to see more sponsors become part of the program and get your name and your name on the wall. Thank you very much for coming out and serving me. We really appreciate it. Thank you. For all roadheads, we do have another project going. We're going to need your help. We're trying to have a championship banner wall that we would like to develop right behind you.
Back after the presentation at halftime, it is 37-22, Gate City leading Abingdon. Let's cover the top scorers for Gate City, beginning with Jake Housewright. Actually, Jason Haynes. Jason had 9 in the first half, leading all scores for Gate City. Following him, 6 points each for Jake Housewright and also for Chris Peters. 4 points each for Chad Beasley, and 4 points for Chad Beasley. Josh Shoemaker also having 6 in there. 3 points for Richard Howe and 3 points for Aaron Mead. For Abingdon, they were paced in scoring by Joe Waters. He poured in 11, 5 for Josh Whitlock, 5 for Wes Basham, and a single point for Zach Thompson. Gate City ahead by 15, trying to clinch a share of the Highlands title for the 3rd consecutive year. Off a pick and roll, Basham takes the pass. Pull-up J is good from the free throw line as Wes Basham takes the feed and then pulls up and scores the first bucket of the second half. Basham with 7 in the game. Gate City into the forecourt. Devils start with the second half as they throw the ball away. Richard Howe, Josh Shoemaker, Jason Haynes, Chad Beasley, Aaron Mead. Whitlock trying to pass to Waters to his left and had the ball knocked away. 37-24. Now, this Abingdon team certainly has the weapons to score in a hurry, so complacency is something Gate City can't afford in the second half. Basham picks up his dribble out to Whitlock. Waters on the perimeter. He can shoot from there. Drives in. Back down low to Basham. Turnaround. Haynes blocked it. Rebound into the key, and Gate City's got it. Mead feeds it out to Richard Howe. Jason Haynes has had a stellar game on defense through this point. Howe feeds it to Mead around the horn. Shoemaker off a fake, drives by, pulls up from 17, skips off the weak side. Beasley's got it. He backs inside, fakes a pass. Reverse layup is good. Chad Beasley, 6 in the game for the junior. Again, he had a career-high 17 against Abingdon, the first meeting between these two teams. and we're going to have a foul called. Let's see, is it going to be against Gate City or Abingdon? They're going to call it against Abingdon, and they're going to say that Wes Basham, I think it is, called for the moving screen. So Basham now has on him his first. Well, the scoreboard shows 2, so we'll go along with that. 2 on Basham. 6:48 in the turning clock to play here in the third quarter. It's 39-24. Down low to Haynes. Jason spins the end of the baseline. He has been unstoppable, and he has pushed Basham away from it every time. Haynes with 11 in the game. He was held to 10 points in the first meeting between these two teams, but a lot of other folks picked up the slack. Wallace around the horn. Waters off a fake. Driving. One-hander high off the glass. Skips out. No good. Rebound taken away by Whitlock. Whitlock looks down low to Basham. Basham turns. Gets Haynes in the air. Off the glass. Missed the layup. Rebound to Gate City. Haynes tapped it into the hands of Beasley. Gate City leading by their biggest advantage of the game. 17, 6:11 to go in the third quarter. Meade on the wing. Right side. Needs help. Puts it on the floor. Weaves the pass over to Howell. Howell looks inside, trying to post Beasley up against Basham. Instead, Shoemaker on the wing, right side. Shoemaker fakes the pass into the corner. Finally goes out there to Beasley. 5:54 to go in the third. Meade takes the cross-court pass. Shoemaker backs in, triple-teamed. He'll try to put it up, and they're going to call it travel on Josh, but there was a lot of traffic in the key there. But the official goes with a turnover on Gate City. 5:46 to go in the third. It is 41-24 and into the fourth quarter with the basketball. This is Whitlock. Whitlock dribbling with the left hand. Whitlock pulls up from 17. Trigger won't go. Rebound is to Shoemaker. 5:35 to go, and Shoemaker runs it up the far sideline. He's double teamed on the perimeter. Kicks it out to Aaron Meade, top of the circle. Jason Haynes on the right wing playing perimeter. Richard Howe in the corner. Nice fake. He'll drive the baseline. Give it off to Beasley, and Beasley takes it up strong. But they're going to call 3 seconds on Gate City. So the Devils have had a couple of opportunities to push it almost to the 20-point mark, but it's 41-24, 5:21 to go in the third quarter. Abingdon has lost 4 in a row. Gate City has lost 2 of its last 3 after putting together a 5-game winning streak. The Falcons have lost 5 of their last 6. Whitlock has Hal fall down on him, and timeout called by Abingdon. So Mark Quesenberry will talk strategy with his troops at the 5:07 mark to play in the third quarter. We'll pause here as well. The score is Gate City 41, Abingdon 24. This is Big Blue Basketball here on STE Cablevision Channel 30. Out of the break, Gate City leading by 17. Blue Devils trying to pick up win number 6 in the Highlands District on the year. Gate City is the best defensive team in the Highlands to this point. The Blue Devils on average give up only 51.3 points per game. The best offensive team in the league is Lee. Abingdon is number 3 on offense. Falcons number 4 on defense, giving up 62.4. Waters between the circles. Might have gotten away with a walk. Kicks it over in the right corner. Whitlock, no look pass to Basham. Started to turn inside. Gets by Beasley. Leans in off the glass. No good. Fight for the rebound. It's Wallace who has it for Abingdon. Whitlock changes hands on the dribble. Drives by Howell. Lost his footing on the inside. And he traveled with the basketball. Turnover gives it to Gate City. 4:42 to go into third. Blue Devils, again, have not lost a Highlands District game since the 1993 season. Gate City set to trigger it in. The Falcons will pressure full court, and they'll bring Basham up to defend the inbounder. Bounce it into Beasley. Chad looking for help. Feeds it off to Howell near the baseline. Gets it off to Aaron Meade into the forecourt, far sideline. Meade looking for help on the perimeter. Feeds it off to Richard Howe. Now to Chad Beasley, right side, skips a pass, cross court. Shoemaker for 3, left wing, line drive, no good. But the rebound tapped off the hands of Abingdon and out of bounds to Gate City on the baseline in the forecourt. 4:26 to go in the third. Substitution for the Falcons, 24 is in. That is Chad Blackson, and also back to the game is Zach Thompson. For Gate City, Jake Housestride and Chris Peters will return from Greg Irvin's bench. Again, Greg, a former player here at Gate City, assistant coach at Pulaski County before assisting Sandy Blackwell, the varsity, and then taking over the varsity reins when Sandy stepped down 2 years ago. Peters tries to dump it out high. Housestride has it, feeds it off to Howell, fakes the 3 as Gate City will reset it. Peters on the perimeter left side, starts to drive inside, kicks it off to Shoemaker. Josh driving. Somebody got a hand on it. Howell for 3, left corner. It's up and good. Richard, his second tray of the game. He is 5th on the year, and Gate City vaults to a 20-point lead, their biggest of the night, 44-24. Whitlock into the front court. Right-handed bounce pass over in the wing. Blackson with the basketball, feeds it down low. Basham, nice move to the hoop, and he spins and lays it in. Basham with 4 in the quarter, 9 in the game. Shoemaker behind the back dribble into the front court, middle of the floor. He'll now pull it out. looks to his right and passes over there to Richard Howell. Across the court to Peters as the Falcons again play 2-3. To Beasley, nearly lost the handle, gives it off to Shoemaker. Josh pulled up, no good. Fighting for the rebound. Housewright's got it. High off the glass, no good. Second effort by Beasley. His shot is blocked, but he is fouled on the inside as Gage City has dominated the glass in this game. The foul is going to go against Joe Waters. That'll be his first. Or do they say 50? They'll say 50. It is Thompson. So Zach Thompson has his second. Actually, his first. It is number 2 on the Falcons in the second half. Here's Beasley with the high-arching free throw. It's good. 7 in the game for Beasley. Again, Gage City came in shooting 48.9% from the line. Chad Beasley, 54.8% on the year. The toss is up, and Beasley got them both. Chad with 8 in the game. And the lead is back to 20, 46-26. Into the forecourt, Whitlock passes to Waters on the wing. He's been relatively quiet here in the second half after having 11 in the first half. He had 3 in a row in the first quarter. Around the horn, Whitlock dribbles it out of the corner, passes back on the sideline. Blackson defended by Peters, looks out high, bounce pass to Basham. Basham pulls up on the baseline. High archer, no good. Rebound, Howell going for it with Whitlock, and they'll say Whitlock reached over the left shoulder of Howell and knocked it away. Jason Haynes has returned. Chad Beasley, a breather for Gage City. As this has been about as dominant as Gage City has been in a game since the Highlands District win against Marion at home. Howell brings it into the forecourt. The last time there was a big snowstorm, Gage City really missed about 2 weeks of practice, and the Devils were very rusty after that. But Josh Shoemaker showing absolutely no signs of rust after about a week layoff. He's got 8 in the game, and the Devil lead is up to 22. Abingdon has 4 points in the second half. Long shot, no good by Waters. Rebound fought for, coming down with a Blackson. Here's Waters for another 3. The high archer off the back of the iron. Fought for it. Basham had it tapped away. Who's got it? The ball on the floor. Waters has the top of the circle. He'll feed it to Whitlock. His 3 right side is off, no good. Shoemaker finally has it for Gage City. Gage City has scored 11 points in the second half, as Abingdon has scored but 4. Shoemaker one-on-one with Blackson in the middle of the floor. He'll now drive to the right perimeter. Kicks it off to Howell. Round the horn to Peters on the left wing. Down low to Beasley. Again, he got by Basham as West is going for the steal. He just cannot keep up with Jason Haynes. Jason with 13 in the game. His season high 20 against Lee. And 22 in the championship of Region 4 a year ago. Nice turnaround baby hook shot by Basham. Basham's got all 6 of Abingdon's points in the quarter. Howell, cross-court pass to the far sideline to Shoemaker. Josh against Blackson, turns him around and comes into the front court. Now pulls it out on the perimeter, left side. It's 50-28 as we have a buck and a half to go in the third. Howell with the basketball, dribbling near midcourt. Now takes it on the right wing. Picked up by Whitlock. Finds Peters on the perimeter. The high post at the free throw line is Housewright. Now back to Peters. Peters looks inside to Haynes. Pass led him just a little too much. Picked off by the Falcons. Blackson has it. Gives it off to the Waters in the front court. Waters for 3 with Peters in his face. Joe Waters with his second tray of the game. 21 in the year for Waters. It's now 50-20. The lead is back down to 20. Peters into the forecourt. Needs help. Looks for Howell. And Jason saves it in front of the Gage City bench. We are under a minute to go in the third quarter. Gage City leads at 50-30. Josh Shoemaker with the basketball across the way. Josh has had several outstanding games this year. Really has come on strong after being the top 6 man a year ago. Feed it to Shoemaker, cutting into the key. Shoemaker to the block, feeds it to Haynes. Shot is up, no good. They'll wave off the basket. Shot was good by Haynes, but wave off the basket as there is a pushing foul underneath. It is going to be called on number 50. That is Zach Thompson. Thompson has his 3rd. Abingdon has number 3. Thompson actually has his 2nd. And Blackson will check out of the game. Back in there. Let's see who came in. Angus Pakilla is in there for Abingdon. 19-point lead for Gage City. Inbound to Housewright. Around the horn they work it. Down low into the blocks. This is Shoemaker. Turns strong to the glass as he got through 2 defenders. Both Waters and Basham there. He split the 2. And Josh Shoemaker's got 10 in the game. The lead is 21. Driving, Whitlock skips into the key. Feeds it on the right blocks where it is Thompson with the basketball. Spinning shot is no good, but there's going to be a pushing foul called on Gage City. So the Blue Devils will have their first for the second half, and it will be courtesy of number 32, Josh Shoemaker. Josh with his, I think, his 2nd. That is the call. 2 on Josh. And with 17 seconds to go in the third quarter, Abingdon to the line, and this is Zach Thompson, the 6'3" junior post. Thompson in the game so far, 1 for 2 from the line, a single point in the second quarter. The free throw is up and good. As number 22, Anthony Phillips, will check into the game for the first time. He'll relieve Josh Whitlock. And back to the line to try to complete the 2 free throws. Complete the second one is Zach Thompson. Here's the toss. It is up by Thompson off the back of the iron. No good. Peters skies high for the rebound for Gage City. 12 seconds to go. Shoemaker with 11 with 10. It is a 20-point lead. Shoemaker with 7 on the wing. Shoemaker flips the pass off to Osborne near midcourt with 4 seconds to go, and Osborne to be called for a travel. His footing was not the best as he slipped near the midcourt circle. It gives the basketball to Abingdon with 2 seconds to go, and you can be sure they're going to try to spy Joe Waters. And Greg Irvin says, somebody get a hold of Joe Waters. They baseball pass it to Waters. His turnaround from the corner is up. It is an air ball. That is the end of the third quarter. 3 of them in the books here from the Devil's Den. With a break in the action, we'd like to again recognize our sponsors for Big Blue Basketball here on STE Cablevision Channel 30. Our sponsors include Darty Brothers Chevrolet, Magnolia Place, State Line Graphics, Photo Genius Photography and Video Production, and Williams Heating and Air. At the end of the third, it is Gate City 52, Abingdon 32, as this is Big Blue Basketball here on STE Cablevision Channel 30. We start the fourth quarter. Gage City, again, if the Blue Devils can hang on here, they'll have a share of the Highlands District title for what may be an unprecedented third year in a row. We'll do some research and let you know on that. Richard Howe takes the pass to start the fourth quarter. Gage City ahead by 20, 52-32. Jason Horton into the game. He feeds Shoemaker. He was open, and Josh lays it off the glass. Nice spinning move as Josh Shoemaker coming on strong in the second half. He's got 12 in the game. The lead is 22. Josh Whitlock with the basketball as he dribbles around the horn, feeds it to Pakila. Angus Pakila quickly cut off of the pass as he spins around and feeds it to Basham. Basham on the perimeter, left side, gets it back to Whitlock, and Mark Quisenberry sits on the bench and looks for answers below us as his team was really into the game early, but then Gate City pulled away midway through the second quarter. Aaron Mead is fouled in rear court as Angus Pakila is called for the foul. Angus, a fullback for the Abingdon team on football. It is 54-32, and on Pakila, by the way, his second, it is number 4 as a team on Abingdon. Pass comes in rear court to Hal. He beats Waters into the front court, running to the far sideline. Looks down low for Horton. They feed it high circle to Shoemaker. Down low to Horton. Jason is open. His reverse hook shot bounces around and drops in. And Jason Horton, the crowd favorite here at Gate City. 2 points for Jason as the junior puts Gate City ahead 24 points, 56-32 as we hit the 7-minute mark. Pass is knocked out of the hands of Basham, and Richard Howe going for the steal is called for about his second foul. It'll be Abingdon basketball from the sideline below us. Again, a reminder, fans, if you have a connection to the internet, then you're just a modem connection away from all the official Gate City Blue Devil statistics. Just point your World Wide Web browser to the following address, pages.prodigy.com/go_, which is the underline, sports, all in lowercase. Again, pages.prodigy.com/go_sports, and you can see the statistics that we use in the broadcast here on Channel 30. Pull-up jumper by Whitlock, no good. Backdoor, weak side rebound. Waters got Shoemaker in the air, and he does a nice scoop shot off the glass for 2. Joe Waters with 5 second-half points after he had 11 in the first 2 quarters. Jason Haynes is set to return for Gate City, as is number 54, Jimmy Mitchell, for Abingdon. Al on the wing finds Aaron Mead. He spots up from 17. Jumper is in and out. Rebound taken away from Beasley, tapped out by the Falcons of Abingdon. 6:15 to go in the fourth. Jason Haynes is back in. Mitchell returns as well. And exiting are Zach Thompson and Chad Beasley. 56-34. The Blue Devils lead by 22. He defeated Marion by a very lopsided score earlier this year as well. Inbounds comes to Mead. He drives the baseline left side, and there's a pushing foul called. They may get Joe Waters on this one, as Waters was step for step with Mead. That is the call, and Waters has his second. And Aaron Mead will be shooting a pair at the free throw line, as that is number 5 on Abingdon as a team. Aaron on the season is shooting 50%, only his third and fourth trips to the line. So Aaron tosses up, and it's good. You can really see the confidence exuding. Aaron played a big part in that comeback win against Lee, as his play in the third quarter may have been perhaps the most crucial stretch of play for Gate City this year. He had 7 points in that third quarter and outstanding defensively as well. That pulled Gate City right back into the thick of things with Lee. It is a 14-point lead for the Blue Devils with 6:13 to go in the game. And Joe Waters gets his first rest of the contest, as into the game for Abingdon is 32, Byron Dix, a 6-foot junior guard. At the basketball, Whitlock, Gate City playing man-to-man. Mitchell with the basketball across the way, feeds it out high. Basham takes it by Howe, knocked away by Richard. Aaron Meade collects a loose ball across the way, and Gate City just can do no wrong here tonight. It has been all Blue Devils since the opening quarter. Shoemaker runs into the forecourt for Gate City. Horton out high, now turns back to the low post. It is Aaron Meade with the basketball between the circles. Howe feeds Horton. Jason spinning around high post. Aaron Meade top of the circle, feeds it into Haynes. Jason got by the would-be stealing defender, 54, Mitchell. And Jason strong to the basket. He's got 6 in the second half, 15 in the game for Gate City. Here's a pull-up on the run. It's high off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound, Haynes of Gate City. Double team, needs help. And it's Richard Howe with the basketball for Gate City. Richard with the basketball, feeds it on the far wing. Meade thought about the three, dumps it down low for Horton. Jason on the blocks, feeds Haynes all the way over Basham. Missed the right-handed layup. Basham collects the rebound. 60-34, 26-point lead as Abingdon has scored 12 points in the second half. Basham with a nice jumper from 17 out, and we have a timeout called by Abingdon. Wes Basham has been the big source of offense in the second half. He's got 8 points since the halftime intermission. And we have a timeout called by the Falcons with 5:01 to go in the game. It is Gate City 60, Abingdon 36, as this is Big Blue basketball here on STE, Cablevision, Channel 30. It'll be Gate City basketball in the rear court. Josh Shoemaker to trigger it in. You know, Josh had a season low 6 points against Abingdon in the first meeting between these two teams. One of only 2 times he has not scored in double figures this season. Richard Howe all the way. Nice screen, though. The credit for that play, half of it needs to go to Jason Horton, who set an outstanding screen and allowing Richard Howe to go coast to coast. Richard with 8 in the game. Nice showing for him. Basham on the wing, left side, feeds it to Waters, cutting through, and he called for travel. He took a step as Jason Haynes was there, and as Jason went high into the air, Waters pulled his pivot foot along with him, and we're seeing Jason Horton there.